You might feel like you're doing all the right thing, eating well, exercising, going to bed early, but you still might feel run down. Maybe you're constantly catching colds, your skin is acting up, or no matter how much coffee you drink, you still lack energy. Now, many people feel like their symptoms are either brushed off or ignored by their doctors, but I'm here to say a lot of these symptoms have their root cause in the gut. And today, I'm going to give you my 5 simplest gut health habits designed to fit into any routine, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be shocked by number 5. If you're the kind of person that wakes up, goes straight to emails, downs a coffee on an empty stomach, maybe grabs a bite of toast while rushing out the door, your gut health is already on the back foot. So your gut and brain are in constant communication between what we call the gut-brain axis, and when you're stressed, your body shifts into something called fight or flight mode. I want you to recognize that the same physiological state of fight and flight when we used to be fighting off saber-toothed tigers and running away from predators is the same stress response, the same hormone, the same peptides that are released in our body as when we're fighting someone on social media or reading aggressive emails. It is exactly the same. And when we try and eat whilst in a stress state, I want you to imagine it's like the same weird scenario of trying to eat a sandwich whilst fighting a saber-toothed tiger. Your body is not in the right state to receive food because everything is being geared towards fighting for your life. And this is why when you're eating in a stress state, it can lead to bloating, discomfort, indigestion, and long-term gut inflammation. An effective way to nudge your body out of that fight or flight mode into rest and digest mode is deep belly breathing. You see, when you take slow, deep breaths, you activate what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, this rest and digest system, and it sends a clear signal from your brain to your gut that, hey, it is safe to focus on digestion. We're not fighting a tiger anymore. We're at a table and we're about to enjoy some lovely food. And so that's why your gut can then produce the enzymes it needs to break down food and keep food moving through your digestive tract instead of sitting heavy at the top of your digestive system where it can cause discomfort. Let's try one cycle, shall we? I'm going to breathe in through my nose, making sure to aerate your lungs, but also pushing out the abdomen, holding for a couple of seconds, and then having a full exhale. This is the switching process to the parasympathetic system that is all about rest and digest. So that's a simple habit I do, particularly first thing in the morning before I have my first meal, because I tend to have more time then, but also what I put into my meal can have an impact on my gut health too. For a lot of us, breakfast is a missed opportunity to support gut health. It's easy to grab a piece of toast, cereal, just coffee. All of these lack fiber, which your gut microbes need to thrive. I want you to think about fiber like it's fertilizer for your gut garden. Unlike other nutrients that our body absorbs quickly, fiber from plant foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds make their way down to the lower gut. And this is where they become food for our gut microbes, especially beneficial strains like bifidobacteria and lactobacilli that you're probably buying probiotic supplements full of. In reality, we have these in our guts already. We just need to feed them the right food. And when microbes come into contact with fiber, they are fermenting these fibers and they're producing these byproducts called short chain fatty acids. These are things like butyrate and acetate. And what these do is that they can lower inflammation in your gut by controlling some of those immune cells. And this can have a knock-on effect on your skin, on your mood, even on brain fog. So all these seemingly random symptoms can actually all come down to how cozy that environment is in your digestive tract, and the way to make it more cozy is with fiber. So the goal is to get 30 grams of fiber every single day. And the way I try and get this in really easily is with something like my overnight oats. So oats do have some fiber, but to really boost an overnight oats dish, I'm adding flax seeds, chia seed, and hemp seed as well. We're not only getting fiber, but we're also getting protein. And I'm also thinking about savory breakfasts, leftovers from the night before, or even eggs with a bit of greens, celery, and just thinking about ways in which you can add diversity of plant fibers. That's how you're going to get 30 grams grams of fiber in per day. If you're listening to this and thinking, I already eat quite a lot of fiber, the next step is to get a diversity of different fibers into your meal. So rather than having the same grains, think about changing up the grains. So try freekeh instead of brown rice. Try green lentils instead of chickpeas. Try and get pumpkin seeds instead of sunflower seeds. It's that diversity of fiber that also pays dividends, as well as the total quantity of fiber in your meals. So we've sorted breakfast, and now it's time for the workday to kick in. During the workday, it can be really convenient to turn to grab and go foods, pre-packaged sandwiches, protein bars, energy drinks. But many of these are what we call ultra processed foods. These are foods that have been heavily modified from their original source. They are filled with additives and then marketed as something that is super cheap and accessible. But if you turn the pack over, you might find emulsifiers, artificial sweeteners, fillers. These are all additives that can be detrimental to your gut. There was actually an interesting 2023 trial on 99 people looking at how artificial sweeteners affect the gut bacteria. They found that people who regularly consumed these sweeteners had lower bacterial diversity. Why is that a thing? Imagine your gut is like a garden, and we want to be great gardeners. A healthy garden has a mix of flowers, shrubs, trees, courgettes. They each play a role in keeping that ecosystem balanced. But if that diversity disappears, it's kind of like turning that lush garden into a dry, barren desert. The soil, or in this case, your gut lining, becomes less fertile, weeds can take over, and it's harder for the right plants to grow back. That's what happens when you lose microbial diversity, but a rich mix of gut bacteria can help with digestion, immune support, even improve your mood. Here are a few swaps and ideas for your work days. Instead of fizzy drinks, or especially energy drinks, try sparkling water with lemon, lime, or even low sugar kombucha or herbal teas. Instead of granola bars, swap those for Greek yogurt with nuts and berries, or even overnight oats that you make yourself. Instead of a meal deal sandwich and a snack, bring leftovers from dinner, like your stir fry, or just a homemade sandwich, whole grain bread on lots of vegetables inside. Instead of store-bought biscuits or pastries, have dark chocolate with almonds or apple and banana and nut butter. It's so much better for that gut garden. Let's continue this list in the comments and let me know your favorite swaps. I think we've all had that feeling when you finish a really big meal late at night, you try to go to sleep, and then your stomach feels heavy and you wake up feeling groggy. Eating earlier in the evening and leaving a big gap, ideally at least 3 hours between your last bite and bedtime, is really important for your gut health. It does two things. It gives you more time to digest your food, so when you eat and lie down too soon, that stomach acid can sometimes move up into the gullet, causing reflux, irritating your stomach lining, and this can trigger indigestion that over time can lead to bloating, pain, nausea. So eating earlier actually gives your gut time to process food, reducing that local inflammation and helping you feel more comfortable when you go to bed. The second is that it improves the efficiency of your digestion. When you're eating earlier, you're actually aligning with your body's natural circadian rhythm. We're not designed to eat at night, and this plays a big role in how digestion works. As melatonin, the sleepy hormone as it's colloquially known, rises in the evening, it slows down your gut motility and it reduces those enzymes that are used to break down food, which overall makes digestion harder. So by eating earlier, you're more in line with your rhythm and it helps your gut stay efficient and work better. I know it might seem like a bit of a mindset shift to have such an early dinner, but in my own life, someone who works full time, has to look after a newborn, as soon as I step into my house in the evening, I'm prioritizing dinner. Something that's helped me prioritize an early dinner and get food on the table quick are one-pot dinners. Those that are made in a tray or a casserole dish. We've got so many on the Doctor's Kitchen app. The fifth habit you're not going to believe, but I've had one of the world's experts, Dr. James Kinross, on the podcast, who is an advocate for this one thing that everyone should be prioritizing, and that is social connection. Seeing your friends and family more has a massive positive effect on your gut health. It reduces your stress, it improves your mental well-being, and it can have an impact on your immune function. There was actually a study published in Nature, which is one of the world's best journals, where they showed that people with strong social ties, especially with family, had a more diverse gut microbiome. Well, what happens is when you kiss your partner, when you share living space with other people, you are in constant communication with their gut microbiome. So it's almost like you're borrowing seeds from someone else's gut garden and planting them into your own. And it sounds a bit weird, but actually that extra diversity is something that gives you those extra health benefits. So if there is the opportunity to spend as much time as you can with loved ones, siblings, and wider family members, then absolutely do it, because you're doing not only wonders for your mental well-being, but also for your gut well-being as well. I don't want to hear anything more about probiotic supplements unless you've done these simple habits first. So try them before you try anything else. And if you want some recipes to kickstart your gut health journey, we've got a handy PDF down below that is free to download that will give you a gut-friendly breakfast, lunch, and dinner.